When it comes to pain and healing from physical injuries, do you think it is preferable to feel better and measure your progress by how you feel? Or do you think it's better to look at your structure and measure objective changes to your structure, say by X-ray, MRI, someone assessing your posture, etc.? So, hey, it's Alicia. And this question is actually coming from an interaction I had with the chiropractor that I went to see for my MCL tear. So the knee injury that just happened recently. If you're not aware that I got injured and you want to hear that story, we'll link to it in the description box below. That is not what this video is about. So the reason I saw a chiropractor is I just wanted someone to do some osteopathic manual tests to determine manually without an MRI if anything was going on in my knee, like a tear. So he did that, and that's not what this video is about either. But while I was there, he showed me some really cool technology that they have in that office that I haven't seen a single chiropractor use that I've been to in the last 10 years, or really my entire life. So I've been to a handful of chiropractors over my lifetime. And they use, initially on your first visit, they use a thermography tool and kind of a few other like sensory electrical type measuring devices, roll it along your spine, and then it kind of measures your energy output, your muscle tone, so they can tell you, what is where you have maybe muscle imbalances along your spine, or you might be compensating. And then they also measure, I think, nerve output and like nerve innervation and blood supply and a few other things. That was really cool. And then they also do or offer digital x-rays. They are low EMF, and because they're digital, I guess they're different. I don't actually, to be honest with you, I don't know the differences here, but I think they're just like really high quality x-rays. They can see things maybe traditional x-rays can't see. So I opted to do the digital x-ray of my entire spine. So we x-rayed my hips, my entire spine, my jaw, everything. And then I went back to go over them with a chiropractor. So I'm gonna film another video about my x-rays. That's not actually what this video is about either, but I had to set the context for this conversation. So when the chiropractor was talking about my x-rays and kind of going over my structure, there were definitely some big abnormalities and some dysfunction there in my spine. And he said something that I just thought was so interesting, because it's literally the exact opposite of what I tell all of my clients. So of course he's telling me about pain and the nervous system and giving me his kind of new client or new patient spiel. And so I always find that just like super cool to listen to other people's spiels, because I do the same thing with my clients. I give them my spiel on the body and pain and why pain happens and what our objectives are and all that. And within his, kind of little speech to me about pain and how to measure progress, he wants to measure it by, taking digital x-rays again in a year after, doing a lot of chiropractic care over the course of that year. And what he said was, how you feel doesn't really matter. It's what's happening in your structure that matters. And when we can change your structure, you'll start to feel better. So I was just like, and I didn't challenge him on it. I didn't say anything at the time. But I just thought to myself, this is a great conversation starter. Like, this is something I want to talk about here on Mobility Mastery with you. So I am curious, in your opinion, if you have thought about how you measure progress. I'm going to guess if you are like most people, you measure it by how you feel. And the only reason you might decide to measure it differently is if someone convinces you that that's a better measurement of progress, right? Why? Because we wake up every day and we feel how we feel, and that dictates the quality of our lives, right? So if we're in pain every day, we may not have the best quality of life. It's going to affect our mood. It's going to probably affect our relationships. It's going to affect our productivity at work or in our careers. But it got me just kind of thinking, based on also seeing my x-rays, isn't this interesting? I have been almost 100% focused on how I feel. And other than this knee thing, I mean, I've been feeling mostly fantastic for the last 8 years, you know? Yes, I've had this mid-back thing, but it's not debilitating. It hasn't really stopped me from doing the major things that I love in life. It's been annoying, a little aggravating, a little frustrating, but not like other pains used to be for me, where it was like debilitating and affected my whole life. So it was, yeah, I just find it interesting. Here I am, like he was shocked that I don't have serious, you know, maybe sacrum or low back pain or headaches or neck pain or other pains based on my structure. So the truth for me lies somewhere in the middle, right? But I want to share with you and maybe play a little devil's advocate here about why I have the position I have, that it's always better to focus on how you feel. So how you feel is way more in your control than how your structure is functioning, like what your structure is, right? Because there might be some things happening in your structure that you'll never change. That's just possible. I never want to put limits on anyone, so I'm going to say, like, I want to say it's possible I could completely change my structure, but I won't know till it happens. However, I do believe a lot of how I feel, maybe all of how I feel, is in my complete control. Because there's a lot of things that I can do to my body, to my mindset, to my mind, to my heart, to my belief system, to my nervous system, that will generate the kind of feelings I want to have every day. So I'm not talking about like spiritually bypassing or using mindset to not feel pain and thus convince yourself you're feeling great every day. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about doing the actual work to, you know, maybe change your fascia and feel better, or change your nervous system pattern, let go of some judgment or shame or whatever it is, right? There's so much we can do to feel better that is under our control. And we don't want to ignore the structure. So this was a good kind of wake-up call for me, because I've been measuring my vitality, my health, my well-being, mostly on how I feel. Because, you know, that's under my control for the most part. That's mostly where I focus my work and my research. Changing my structure, I think, can also happen under working with how I feel. So it's my belief that we can, you know, change our structure. And when I say structure, I'm actually talking about your bones. So we have a soft tissue structure as well, and that's much more changeable. It's much more under our control than changing bones. However, it is my belief that where the soft tissue goes, the bones follow. And so if you're curious to actually see these x-rays I'm talking about, I am going to put out a video on that. It may already be up depending on when you're watching this. So, you know, go look for that video on the channel. But I'm planning on doing both. So I think it's a good idea to do both. You can focus on how you feel, and then you don't want to ignore something in your structure. Like with me, one of the things that you'll find out if you decide to watch the video where I go over my x-ray is that I had absolutely no idea. Nobody has told me, no chiropractor, physical therapist, personal trainer, massage therapist, I mean, nobody has told me that I have almost a completely straight cervical spine. It's like 15 degrees negative. And it's supposed to be, I'm not going to try to repeat what it's supposed to be, but it's way, 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 way out of alignment. It's supposed to have a curve. And that's typical in, I guess, a really bad whiplash situation. So I've probably been living with a very dysfunctional cervical spine since 1997, since 1997, since I fell roller skating. But I've not had anybody, even people who work on structures, show me the structure. I have people tell me, yeah, you have forward rotated shoulders, and you have some forward head posture, and you have a little bit of kyphosis, and you have, your hips are out of alignment, and you have mild scoliosis, not, to the degree that we would name it that, but it's a little, you have a little bit. I've had people tell me that before, but I've never had people show me this type of x-ray where I could see it all. And then actually combine what I'm seeing on the x-ray with the thermography images, the nerve innervation, and muscle compensations. I think those two things combined are really cool. So I just wanted to bring this topic to you here on YouTube. The reason though, when he said that to me, I was like, oh no, he's telling probably all of his patients this, and I don't want to judge him. That's not what this is about. I just, here's my concern for anyone saying these types of things or hearing them is if I wait to see changes in my structure, if I wait to take another x-ray or have a doctor tell me and confirm for me that my structure is changing before I feel better, I might be waiting my whole life, right? So I guess just to play a little bit of devil's advocate, that would be my answer to someone saying, yeah, but Alicia, you don't want to ignore, if you focus on how you feel and you're ignoring your structure, isn't that bad? Yes. Yes, it is. However, if I wait to feel better, if I wait to do what is under my control, if I wait to work on how I feel until I can see a measured change in my, somebody's handing me some objective measurement that change has in fact taken place, and then I give myself permission to feel better, yeah, I might be waiting the rest of my life. So I personally think we can feel better and even feel 100% even with a very dysfunctional structure. And that's the primary message that I want to share with you today, or have be a takeaway for you. I've worked with people who have had MRIs and x-rays and all the things, all the measurements, and they're bone on bone, and they've been told they need knee replacement surgery, or they've been told they need back surgery, or they've been told they have degenerative disc disease and there's nothing they can do about it. It's just a matter of getting older. I've been, seeing people who have been told they can't, there's something so wrong with their structure, they can't change it, and they will be in pain for the rest of their life. These are things that a lot of well-meaning doctors tell people, probably because they don't want to get their hopes up, and for whatever reason, that doctor is living in a paradigm where they believe what they're saying. But I have seen the opposite. So I've worked with all of these people, and they not only feel better, a lot of them get to feeling 100%. And what is 100%? In my book, it means I can do what I want. So I choose the activities that I, use my body for. I'm not limited. I might experience pain now and again, but because every human does, right? So I might experience some aches and pains, but I'm not limited. Nothing's debilitating, and most of the time I feel really good. So that's my definition of feeling, 100%. Despite what some objective measurement of your structure could say about you. So no matter what you've been told about, the state of your body, the supposed objective state of your body, don't let anyone tell you that that has to dictate how you feel. It doesn't. It absolutely does not. So you can work on your fascia, you can work on your mindset, you can work on your nervous system, you can heal any trauma you have, and all of these things are going to make you feel better. You can work on your diet, you can move your body, right? There's so much under our control that we can use to feel good in our bodies, despite, our structure. And in an ideal world, we're going to work on both. So if you want to follow along with me on kind of doing the work of healing both now that I actually know objectively what's going on in my structure. And then definitely check out the video where I'm gonna go over the x-rays, and then I'll be posting updates on what I plan to do to reverse this, and as much as I can. But in the meantime, I'm not gonna wait for evidence that my structure is changing for me to feel better. So I hope you do the same. Please share your takeaways below this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please pass this on to anyone you feel maybe needs this message, because I feel like this is a pervasive story out there that a lot of people are being told they need to wait to feel better till their body changes, and that's simply not true. So yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.